I must say hello, I guess. A long time ago, I really promised you guys a Winx Club redesign, and since the second part of the reboot was announced, probably here I am. I literally had so much time to think about it during my YouTube break. Like, my city was under attack constantly, I didn't have electricity for days, and drew a lot of things in a bomb shelter. Oh, and it seems like this AO3 curse now works for artists as well, at least on me. Yet I was really happy to work on this project because Winx was always a special thing for me. I had a special connection to characters and their personalities, and I tried to pour all my love into this project. Original video about the redesigns was more than 2 hours long, so I decided to split it into three parts that would allow me to give you more deep understanding of my vision. And I also decided to start from probably two the most mistreated characters of whole reboot thing. It's Aisha and Musa. And I don't want to make you wait even more, so let's start. Just a quick disclaimer that if you like this video and you want to support me, don't mind to like and subscribe. Also, your comments have really inspired me to continue, so feel free to share your thoughts about this project. And now, let's start for real. Aisha is a very underrated character who is often misrepresented by Winx Club fans, but when the studio itself does it, it raises a lot of questions because I don't understand how people who literally created such beautiful, versatile, strong-willed, and determined character can belittle her so much by reducing her character to just a sport girl who has problem with her parents. It has to be a limit, like really, because for me, Aisha was always a role model. She was an example of how, despite life circumstances, the difficulties and misunderstandings, you can still overcome them. That you will still be able to find people who will love you and care for you, and that despite all the evil that surrounds you, you can remain a kind and sincere person, that you can love girly things without feeling ashamed, and that you can openly talk about what you like and it will be okay, and that's okay to do so. In the reboot of Winx Club, Aisha is reduced to a stereotypical image of black girl in the media, which is really sad because it literally devalues all the complexity of a character. In the original series, Aisha's love for sport and dancing were not the basis of her character, but rather a consequences of it, because Aisha is an extremely strong-willed person. She was passionate, competitive, and stubborn enough to reach her goals, yet really feminine and sincere about what she loves. Creating this design, I try not only to redraw their outfits, but also to rewrite the Winx personalities so they match my vision of the Winx Club, which I had really formed over the years that I had been interested in this franchise. In my vision, Aisha is a girl who struggles with self acceptance because through her childhood as a princess of Andros, she was influenced by her parents and pressured by her status and did not have this opportunity to investigate her personality. Surrounded by her royal duties and pressure from her parents, she was not yet had this opportunity to realize her own potential. Therefore, for her, the journey to the Althea must become a kind of test and the opportunity to find her true self, to find herself as a person, not as her parents' daughter, not as Princess of Andros, but just simply as herself, as Aisha. And it's very important to me to reveal the importance of fairy training in Althea for every girl and how it will affect each of them. It's just, a small detail that would shape the whole of their story in the future, their behavior and attitude towards other characters and events of a story. Another thing I would like to mention about Aisha is her emotionality, because in my notes I mentioned it like face with subtitles. And she's really sincere in her reactions and would start to show them more and more as she got comfortable in Olympia. However, she can also be really shy sometimes. She puts this brave facade, but because Aisha has little experience in communicating with people outside of her royal circle, she finds it really difficult to bond with people. But if she really does find friends, Aisha values them and protect of all costs. And also, I think she knows Stella because of her princess position, but before Althea, they were hardly connected. Now let's talk a bit about her style. First things I want to mention about her is her hair. I'm absolutely sure she goes really creative with her hairstyles and usually change them to try something new. It also so-called challenge to me to draw different types of hair as well. Like if it was up to me, I would give her different hair every episode. However, when it comes to clothes, Aisha would prefer comfortable and functional one on the contrast of things she was forced to wear in a palace, at least during her first days in Althea. As she grew more comfortable in new place and would build a special bond with other Winx fairies, she would start to learn how to embrace her feminine part as well, that she shouldn't give up to it out of her protest but accept her preferences. Stella and Musa and Tekna would teach Aisha doing her makeup because once Aisha mentioned that she loves the whole makeup thing but doesn't know how to do it properly. Shortly summarizing everything up, my Aisha is a girl who is thirsty to find herself for new connection. She eagerly jumps in for adventure, trying to compensate all the time she was not able to express her love for it. She is passionate and energetic and genuinely needs a soulmate who gonna reflect her interest, becomes her rock and support. And speaking about these soulmates, it's really time to talk about my vision of Musa. Now, when we finish with Aisha, I just want to pause a little bit to advertise my Etsy shop. I made huge Etsy update recently that consists of lots of cute keychain and stickers of my favorite fandoms and Winx as well, and just want to share it with you because, as I told before, this winter was probably one of the most difficult period of my life, and your support really matter. I would be really grateful if you can support me on Etsy, but sharing is also caring. That's why you can share the shop or this video, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I would be incredibly grateful for it because it was my followers who keep me, I don't know even how to say this, who inspired me working, who told me that everything's gonna be fine, and you know, I can't like it was really such a nice thing to hear during blackouts. Thank you so much, and let's continue. We all remember how much of a baddie Musa was in the original show, like the baddie. Yet in a reboot she was plain, tasteless even, and moreover barely visible behind other characters. And I don't wanna say anything, but a pattern where two non-European looking characters are mistreated so bad kinda tells about something. Or I'm just imagining, never mind. My Musa, short and bitter, literally my favorite character trope. As well as in source material, she lost her mother in a young age and had a huge influence on her life and personality. She is extremely skilled at everyday tasks to the point where she assumes everyone else should handle things as easy as her, and she literally had to step in and take responsibility over their household while her father was grieving over Musa's mother. This event left such a strong influence on him that man shut all the Musa's dreams about doing music, and since Musa started growing her magic abilities, he worked himself so hard to send Musa to Althea, because he believed that becoming a guardian fairy was the only possible outcome for her, that this will bring recognition and success. And as you might guess, Musa wasn't a fan of this idea at all. That's why she usually sabotages the studying process and got lots of disciplinary reports. Anyway, this version of Musa is extremely stubborn. That's why she looks for every opportunity to do music. She is self-taught musically. She writes her own music, she raps when no one is around, works every possible side job just to save up for vocal coaching, and during Althea days often go to part-times with Bloom and never refuses when Stella offers to pay. She wants to get public recognition and prove that music is actually an option. And I'm sure she has her own local version of SoundCloud and films dance TikToks with Aisha to promote them. Talking about Musa's style, the most noticeable thing about her is also her hairstyle. First of all, it's a tribute to her mother, and the second, it's a symbol of her chaotic emotions and little control over her aggression, because during one of her meltdowns, she cut her hair short and regretted about it immediately. Now she uses hair as an accessory. Her outfit is inspired by K-pop scene outfit, and also Musa never leaves the dorm without her music player and headphones. Wears the most makeup about the Winx Club, by the way, not because she is kind of a fan of a makeup, but rather it's her form of protest. Also, she's kinda cheap. That's why a lot of her clothes is from second-hand shops that are not that common in Magic's, and it leads her to work harder. And also, I'm sure she kinda, let's talk, not steal, but borrows from Wings girlies here and there, especially from Stella and Tekna. But Stella has such a big wardrobe she never noticed. My musa is straightforward to the point. She may seem as rude person, but she isn't evil at all. Like, she just didn't have the person in her life who would teach her how to deal with her emotions. She also didn't come from wealth, and studying in school among royalties and rich makes her really passive aggressive sometimes. As Winx Club forms, it was Flora who supported Musa emotionally, and as you can see, developing the bond between all Winx is really important to me, and I'm still working on ideas how to write more interaction between the girls. Musa and Aisha were the first Winx characters who really interacted together, literally in a queue to submit the docs to Alfia, where Aisha was right there uncomfortable being around so many people, and Musa just pissed about the bureaucracy in such a prestigious school. So Musa just might start filming her dance challenges for social media right there in the queue, and this is where Aisha notices her. Because Aisha loves dancing, Musa otherwise is more practical and treats it as a tool to promote her blog. Yet it's something small that established their friendship, because Aisha is the person who always keeps Musa in classes. They always do studying projects together, but yes, sometimes Aisha has to drag Musa in the classroom. Aisha is also the first one to comment on Musa's videos and cheers her up to submit for different activities connected to music, while Musa in her turn always there for Aisha, supporting her on every sports competition Aisha loves to attend in Althea. Also, Aisha is the person who tries to keep Musa from troubles, else her explosive personality can lead to fights more often than necessary, and their personalities basically fits perfect together, complementing strong parts and smoothing each other weaknesses. But I'm also sure lots of people question their connection and surprised about how well they actually fit together. Musa has never brought up Aisha's princess status because Aisha always treated Musa as equal. And I also might say that unlike Stella, for example, Aisha tries not to highlight her royal background, focusing on herself instead. So it's all I wrote about these two so far, and in this video I mainly focus on their personalities because, as I mentioned before, I believe that character's personality has a strong influence on their design, and in order to really redesign, I was working on headcanons before drawing. In my next video, I will tell you about Stella and Takana, as I want to bring this unexpected combination that actually works so good, and about Bloom and Flora, focusing on the reason why these two are bonding so good. I also have so many ideas about their transformation and magic development, so please write if you wanna hear about it as well. It was really pleasant to come back on the YouTube and just yap about my ideas after such a long break, and I really hope that I won't be forced to disappear again. Yes, we will see. Thank you so much for watching, and see you again in my next video, my fairies.